What's up, everybody? Today we'll be learning how to play Egg Wars, and I'm gonna be walking through it. I am level 35. Been playing Egg Wars or CubeCraft games for about a year and a half now, so I will try my best to explain. So the first thing that we should go through first is like what different types are there. For Egg Wars, we have the Mega version of it, where you have 10 players on your team and 3 enemy teams, so in total there's 40 players in it. The average time in that's like 10 minutes, so it is a long game, but you know, it's fun, so you should try it. Next thing we have teams of 4. It's a little easier. Again, 4 teams of 4, simple. A lot of people rush in this, and it's fun to just get a big group of friends and try your best to see how many wins you can get in this. It's really fun. Next up, we have teams of 2, and this is the one where you find a lot of speedruns on in YouTube videos. You look at my channel, and I'll have some videos on me like speedrunning teams of 2 and stuff. So yeah, that one, that's a fun one, and that's what I'm going to mainly focus on today, how to do teams of 2. Then you got solo. Solo is just you. There's like 8 teams, depends on the map, 8 to 11 teams, or 12 teams. And my goal in this is to break as many eggs as fast as possible and hit everyone into the void. Simple as that. And then our last thing is the one thing that I don't do that often, mainly because I don't know, it's boring. In my opinion, is duos, because it's just you and another player. If you have a friend on and you just want to see who's better, I tend to do duos on that, but besides that, it's not as good, so. And I won't be focusing on duels. The main one we'll be working on is 2, 10, and solo. You know, different videos later in the year about, you know, how to play separate games. I'll also be working on one on Block Wars 2 soon. That's a really fun game, and in my status, you've got, let me see here, let me just get to game settings. We'll go to Block Wars 5v5. As you can see, I have 463 wins on this. Currently on a win streak of 6, which is not my best streak, but again, we're working on getting onto the leaderboard, which will take some time, but we can do this. And I've played over 2 days and 13 hours worth of this, so yeah. Yeah, sorry boy, I'm on a get out of my video. And so here we are. The first thing you need to know about Teams of 2 is, and that's the first one I'm going to be working on, you must rush. This game is all about whoever is fastest. And whoever's the fastest player really wins a lot. And so, yeah. There are several maps in this, and if you have map selection, which is worth like 1,600 mine coins, if you do, I always go for the Cyber City map. That's this one. The Cyber City map, as you can see, you're very close to the islands. It takes about 20 blocks to get there, and with your starting kit, you start out with 15. So yeah, that's one thing I do. Also, I vote for Overpowered because it just makes everything easier. So yeah, Cyber City is a very good map. Next thing you need to know is that we never wait for someone to go on your island and then go rushing everyone. Always be the first one to get the first egg. That's the biggest part of this whole thing. If you're the first one to get the first egg, people will see you as a threat, and they'll be scared when you go on their island. Because, again, there's a lot of mental in this game, so, yeah. And so, next up, we have, like, next thing you need to know is in this game, you must always go for a height advantage. That doesn't mean just to see how fat, just like you know, when you're trying to get an egg, your goal is to get above the egg, and once you're above the egg, you can drop down, break the egg, because as long as that can't hit you, you can always get your egg. Because fun fact of the day, and most people don't know this, that you can actually mine farther than you can punch. You can mine 7 blocks, you can only punch about 4 blocks. So that's something that you gotta learn. And so you go about 6 blocks above the egg, or 5 blocks above the egg, break the concrete or whatever's on their egg, and then you pop out the egg just like that. Then you can jump down and finish the job. A lot of times, what you gotta do is if there's a lot of people on the island, like if you're playing teams of 4 or teams of 10, get a party of players that can come with you when you're doing this. Because you're gonna need more than just you to take out 10 players. Trust me, as much as I like to do it, most people can't do a 2v1 or a 4v1. It's very hard. Next thing you need to know is once you're in a high advantage, you got the egg, is you still have players on the island. Most people don't know this, but even if you get the egg, there's still a chance they'll break your egg. And so, you must take out as many as possible, and as fast as possible. If you die, as long as you have your egg, don't worry too much about it. If you die, you can always reboot using your generators and go back to your enemy. But always check out the team that you broke your egg with before you move on to the next island, because they'll come back for your egg almost every time. And so that's a big thing that people need. Always rush. Always take out the island and then move on to your next island. The sooner all players are dead, the sooner you can move on to the next island. And the sooner you can move on to the next island, the sooner the game's over. And so, yeah, that's a big part of it. The next thing we need to cover is food. And I know this might be a silly concept, but in PvP, I don't know why, this drives me crazy. So many players forget to get food. This is outrageous. They go in, they break the egg, they get hit, and then they complain they died. Because they took too much fall damage. The hint is, as long as you have more food and armor than them, you'll always win the PvP. As long as you can exchange hits longer than them. So always remember to get food. I like to set up a Fiverr item shop where you can quick shop anything you want and always put food in there. No matter how long it takes. Because again, you want them dead. The first team you break their egg dead and as fast as possible. So as long as you can reboot on your regen health, you can always come back. And so that's a big one. Next thing we need to cover is lighter game. Most players think, okay, I'm just going to rush around, break as many eggs as fast as possible. Because if I can break all the eggs before anyone get gear, I win. This is not a good move. You must, after getting in the solo egg wars, you have 2 neighbor islands. In most maps, you have 2 neighbor islands. These islands will be there and there. As you can see, these islands can rush very fast. Those 2 islands can just pop onto our island. Once you get those 2 islands out, you must get gear. For always start out with your basic leather. Once you have gear, you can always come back and break more eggs. But once you get your neighbor islands, get discounts, so everything's cheaper, and then get chainmail. Then you rush the next 2 islands. Once those 2 islands are rushing out of the way, you get iron. Once those are out, the game's pretty much over. You get enough discounts to make diamond really cheap. When diamond's cheap, everything else is a breeze. Because in Egg Wars, you can't get netherite anymore. Like the last one I had, you could get like stacked with sharpness 5 and tridents and stuff. This, you can't get over diamond. So, as long as you can get diamonds and a lot of gold apples, you're good. And that's what you really need to focus on. Getting diamonds. By the time you're at the last 2 islands, you should be in full diamond. And if you aren't, the round's gone way too fast, which is a good thing too. And I will be releasing a video on how to speedrun, but right now I'm just teaching you the basic wise on how to play Egg Wars. So now that we've gone through the entire game, and you've seen that I've rushed, you can rush, or you cannot, take out as many players as possible. Now we need to understand some techniques about this. In order to do that, you need to learn how to PvP. A big technique about this is one thing a lot of people don't realize in Minecraft PvP is how to do it actually, because there's many different ways to do it in each server. And if you can get a good combo on someone, it's game over. And to learn how to Minecraft PvP, let me do something quick. I'll teach you. If you can see, I'm going to go over some tips on how to PvP if this player cooperates. A side-to-side method is a way to PvP, and a lot of people don't understand is that if you place a block like that, he gets in the air, and it's a lot easier for me to combo him. See, know how he's jumping, and he's barely ever hitting me. He's trying to get me in a crit chain, which is one of the most dangerous which is one of the most dangerous combos you can actually do. But in a crit chain, you do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, also puts you in a place where that can actually combo you, which sucks. Thor just spread himself with instant damage, which is also 0 IQ move, if you didn't realize. And that's a good way to PvP. You time your jumps and your clicks at the same time, so which means you do about double the PvP damage, which is insane. So let me see if I can do one. And yeah, this guy's not gonna. Okay. Also, bows do a lot of knockback in CubeCraft, which is one of the reasons actually touchscreen players like it, because they're really good at bows, and so which means that can actually do a lot more damage than my sword could ever do. The critical hit, notice how I almost like 4-hit him, because I was putting in something called a critical hit chain, where he will actually die. And here we're going to show you, this will be one of my last rounds, my second last round, is how a bow works. I'm a little ahead of the player, does a lot of damage, and if you actually walk forward, you take a lot more knockback, and you give a lot more knockback. Always aim for the head when you're doing this. It's because the headshots, for some odd reason, do a lot of damage. And if this guy cooperates, we'll end with the last round. One thing that you probably seen players in CubeCraft do a lot is actually place blocks ahead of them to put players in the air where I can crit chain them. Oftentimes, alright, I'm just gonna have you scratch those last 2 duels, okay, James? Alright. Oftentimes in a 1v1 PvP, if you don't take knockback, CubeCraft relies so much on knockback combos, because if you don't take that knockback, you will end up dying. And so I'm going to see if I can do this, right? Add everything we learned today into one PvP. So we learn in a bow, you aim up, just above them, and shoot. That should knock them down. And once they're down, you place 2 blocks, see if they'll jump it. Since I have a really glitchy, they're not going to take as much knockback as I would like them to. so I'm going to try to bowl them as much as possible. You see that I'm low on that, so I jump up, I duck out for health, I eat some food. I got him in the air, sort of, so I could put a nice chain around him. And then I try my best to hit him in something called a crit chain, where he takes a lot more damage. Then I jump in the water, get out of lava, because lava hurts. But I'm lagging really bad, so this is actually really hard to do. But here. Let me just eat. Why am I lagging so bad? Suppose that's it for today's video because I'm lagging too bad and I can't do anything if I'm lagging. Or maybe not. One of the hardest things to do is PvP when you're lagging because, again, no one takes knockback then. But even if you lose by just a few hearts, you'll always end up winning eventually because just because you lose by a few, you win by a few hearts, as long as they're dead, you can always win. Look at this. One thing that I haven't noticed in CubeCraft PvP is you actually can go inside the other player's character, which benefits you because they can't hit you if you're inside them. If they're running like this, try your best to pop them out with an arrow. I see a lot of players do that. And booyah, that's a win for me. Let's try this again. This is a lot better one to learn how to do PvP if I don't lag. There we go. Let's try adding everything we learn into this one. Block boosting does help a lot in CubeCraft. It doubles your speed. And speed is actually a huge part about CubeCraft PvP technique. Here we go to duck out of a fight, we eat, and we jump back. A lot of players like being in a party when they learn how to do this because then it's a lot easier. Just take knockback, you weigh like 500 pounds. There we go. Once they've taken the knockback you need them to, obviously you place water so he can get out. But unfortunately he just gave me the advantage where I can eat and he hasn't eaten yet. So you can actually... So I'm ahead in health by like a lot. And as you can see, I'm winning by a lot because of that. Next, I'm going to try going behind blocks here, so I don't take damage if we ever exchange hits again. Why did you just jump in the water? I'm going to duck out, eat, because he figured out what he was doing. Now I'm going to place a block. Hopefully get me on it. There we go. Exchange a ton of hits with him. Cobwebs are also really fun to get people in because CubeCraft has this weird thing where cobwebs take forever to break with a sword. I do not understand this technique and have yet to figure it out. But because it's bedrock, you can also place blocks really fast. And lava does an insane amount of health in CubeCraft PvP too. It's really annoying. But it does help give you an advantage in PvP when... Oh my goodness, you just deleted my block. I'm trying to do a video here. Twice! And here we are. So last little bit, I'm going to cobble up this guy, him into his own... And that's like an instant death trap right here. Watch me crit him out. And he should... Oh, he didn't die. And last but not least, we're going to punch him. That's the end of the video. If you like this video, like and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, hit your like and subscribe. I've been trying new ways to post videos, so tell me what you think about this, and we will see you again.